You know, guys, we talk a lot about Gibson and Epiphone on this channel, but I don't really feel like we talk about this guitar very much. What's going on, everybody? Sean Pierce Johnson here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope wherever you are in the world that you are doing well and you are healthy. Today we are going to be taking an in-depth look at the DC Pro by Epiphone guitars. I want to first say a huge thanks to my buddy Aljon Go over at Epiphone for making this happen and getting this thing in my hands. If you're looking at this guitar and thinking to yourself, well, this has been out for a while, hasn't it? You're right, it has been out for some time already. I think right now it's been on the market in and around 2 years, but I don't really feel like we hear a whole lot of chatter about it. I was really intrigued when I first saw this model because it really was the first new thing that Epiphone had done with its guitar line in some time. And although it has a bit of a strange amalgamation of specifications, what you end up getting is quite possibly the most versatile Epiphone solid body on the market currently, and something that kind of hints at what I think the Epiphone team was looking to do with the brand moving it forward. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and talk about some of the specs of this instrument and what you can expect when you pick one up for yourself. The DC Pro exudes classic Gibson tone woods in that it has a mahogany body, a mahogany neck, and a maple top. Now, they did put a flame maple veneer on top of this, and although you might think to yourself that that's a bad thing, Epiphone's veneer game is just absolutely on point. They are able to find some of the best examples of the flame maple that you can come across, turn it into a veneer, and when I look at it right now, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this on camera, but it's got this really great three-dimensional quality that it's almost like you can see through the layers of maple on this thing. It's really kind of trippy. The one departure, though, from the classic sort of Les Paul-ish tone wood is that around this time there were lots of different regulations and rules regarding the usage of rosewood, and even some supplies of ebony were starting to kind of run scarce. And so the industry was starting to shift towards using Pau Ferro, and you actually have Pau Ferro on this particular fingerboard. And I actually think with this beautiful sort of heritage cherry-ish sunburst finish that it actually pairs really nicely. Up at the top of the neck, we have the Sheraton-style headstock that you see on Sheratons, including the little tree vine inlay, as well as the block and triangle inlays that you also see on the Sheraton. I love the inlays. I just love the look. The outer box block is mother of pearl, and then the inner triangle is abalone, and it pretty much goes up to the 15th fret with that. The rest of the frets on this 24 3/4 scale neck with 24 frets are all the mother of pearl. Yeah, that's right. 24 frets on 24 3/4 scale instrument. It's pretty cool. Grover tuners, a very classic specification for Gibson style instruments, 2 volume, 2 tone, and a 3-way toggle switch. Now the pickups are Epiphone Pro Buckers, so they kind of have a burst bucker-ish kind of vibe to it, definitely going after that vintage character, but there's much more to them at first glance. The 2 volume knobs are push-pull knobs so that you're coil tapping the 2 humbuckers so you can get your single coil style sounds. Not only that, when you put the 3-way selector in the middle position, push and pull on the neck tone knob puts those two pickups in and out of phase. So all told, you have 1, 2, 3, 11 to 12 different pickup combinations to choose from. It's just insane, the level of tones that you can get out of this one guitar. And of course, we have to talk about the body shape, being that it is essentially a new take on a double cut Les Paul idea, albeit it has a bit of a different horn on the top, and there is a belly contour right here. But even with the neck heel glued in right there, you can still get up to the 24th fret if you know what you're doing, and you know, you'll be able to use that with a little bit of struggle, but not anything that's a deal breaker. One last little thing to mention before we move on to the sounds is that both of the volume pots have treble bleed mods on them. So with all that said, let's plug this bad boy in and take a listen. First with some clean tones. Now I'm gonna try to run through as many of the pickup combinations as possible. I'm pretty sure I got them all. Told you, there's a lot of sounds. Now let's go ahead and switch over to the dirty channel on the Rock Reverb and hear those exact same pickup sounds. And since my pedal board is sitting right in front of me, we might as well incorporate some pedals. friends, the DC Pro from Epiphone Guitars. This is a really cool new guitar from Epiphone. Now, of course, Epiphone's getting a whole revamp right now for the year 2020. It's probably one of the only good things that 2020 has brought us, but that's hashtag sidebar right there. I really like the amalgamation of specifications and different lineages of this instrument. The electronics, although they're rooted in those classic tones that Epiphone usually tries to go after, all the different options for push-pull pots and different pickup sounds, it really makes for a highly versatile instrument that you usually see on more souped-up and hot-rodded instruments today. I actually find the neck to be really comfortable. It does have a fairly flat radius. It's about 12 inches, I believe, and the 24 3/4 scale is like home for me. It does get, just because I have rather meaty hands, it gets a little cumbersome up here at the top of the fretboard, but it's really not that big of a deal. I kind of, stop right there usually. That's about as far as I go. Great spec on the tuners. The headstock shape is a little too much for me. I think if I were to do my own take on this, I'd probably go for a more compact headstock shape. But like I said, it's kind of marrying classic looks with this sort of forward-thinking idea of, let's take something that we've done for years and give it a new spin, give it a new carve, and give it something that we haven't done necessarily before, but is a small step forward in our lineage and in our sort of innovation. All in all, I really don't feel like the DC Pro got enough love when it first came out, and still don't feel like it gets enough love. It's an absolutely killer instrument that works, well, as you guys heard, it works for everything that I wanted to do. I feel perfectly at home on this guitar, being mostly a Les Paul player. This is just a slightly different variation on the theme, and it's a variation on the theme that I enjoy a lot. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little look at the DC Pro with me today. And if you did or you didn't, let me know using the comments section below. But if you want to make sure you never miss any videos, make sure you click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You'll be notified anytime a video goes up. But you can see those videos before anyone else that's subscribed to the YouTube channel by joining my Patreon. You'll find a link for that in the description below, and I will be uploading content to that page that won't be shared publicly on YouTube. Possibly too embarrassing. Either way, it's been great of you guys to spend part of your day with me. Thank you so much for your time, and until next we meet, my friends, I'm Sean Pierce Johnson, wishing you all out there great tone and happy stomping. Cheers, friends. See you later. Yes!